So I can't see you guys anymore since it took over my whole screen. So what I will do is I'm going to go over this presentation, and if anybody wants, I have a lot of notes in the notes section. So in order to prevent this from going too long, if anybody has any questions and want more details about anything I'm talking here, feel free to put your questions in the chat, or feel free to send me an email or ask me anything else about anything specific. We did talk about in the future having a deep dive into any one of these supplements if you would like. So that's just that. So this is my presentation of the Ultimate Supplement Stack. These are things that I personally use, so therefore I can personally recommend them because I have years of experience with them. About me, I have been a personal trainer for over 20 years now. I have over 16 years of competing in bodybuilding and powerlifting. I'm a USPA Level 2 certified powerlifting coach. I'm a former deputy sheriff of nearly a decade, and I have been in sports pretty much almost all my life. And I have a lot of experience coaching clients basically from ground up to professional athletes in the bodybuilding and powerlifting space. So not only can I talk the talk, I've been walking the walk for a long time now. And although I am not a doctor per se, I have a lot of experience dealing with not only my own body, but other people's bodies, and having them trust me with my level of expertise to get them to where they want to go. Just to put it out there, I have to put a little legal disclaimer just to make sure that you guys know that all this information is for educational purposes only, and to consult with your doctor before beginning any type of supplement regimen or making any type of change. A note about blood work. Before we begin about talking about supplements, you should know your baseline. And I've included a link in this presentation for a website that I use for my lab tests. And I do suggest that everybody get blood work done every 6 months or so for multiple reasons. One, it provides early detection of chronic illness. It gives you routine blood tests can identify biomarkers of disease, prediabetes, inflammation, thyroid dysfunction long before symptoms appear. And early detection leads to early intervention. It also helps you monitor what I'm about to discuss with supplements, the efficacy of the supplements, and if you need more, or if you need to scale it back, or whatever. It helps you get a baseline first, and then you monitor your progress along the way. So I highly recommend that, especially if you're over 30, especially if you're active, especially with the hormones as well, hormone panel, because as we know, as we age, testosterone and estrogen tend to decline or potentially get out of whack. Women go through menopause and men's testosterone decline. So I always suggest getting blood work first to know where your baseline is. And the reason why I suggest this lab testing website is, one, you don't need to go to a doctor first. Two, you don't need a referral. And three, you can pay out of pocket because a lot of people don't have insurance, or their insurance only covers blood work one time a year, and it does not cover comprehensive lab panels such as vitamins or hormones. You have to ask that from your doctor specifically. So to save you the copay, to save you the initial visit, you could just get this lab work done. All you do is pay for the test online. You get a lab requisition. You go to the lab and get your blood drawn, and then you get the results emailed to you or placed in the app. Then you could take that lab work and already have it with your initial visit with the doctor. It saves you a visit and saves you a whole bunch of time. First things first, diet. You cannot out-supplement a bad diet. You need to make sure that, you're eating a good diet first. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Supplements will help if you have a bad diet, but I want to talk about optimizing. The Ultimate Supplement Stack is about optimizing the synergy between your diet and the supplements that you're taking. Obviously, you want to have some whole minimally processed foods, and supplements are just that, supplements to enhance what your diet can't cover. Because you can have the most perfect diet in the world. There are a lot of external environmental factors that will come into play when, you're trying to have the best diet, but it could be, leaching the soil, the nutrients. It could be, farmed fish. You could try and be perfect, but you're still not going to be able to consume all the vitamins and minerals you need for a healthy body in just your diet alone. So now I'm going to go into the supplement stack. I'm just going to list them first, and then we'll go over them. So the ultimate supplement stack consists of the following: fiber, a whole food multivitamin, berberine curcumin, citrus bergamot, astragalus, fish oil, vitamin B12, vitamin D, K2, vitamin C, ashwagandha, creatine, and magnesium. And then I have kind of like where I cycle these. So something for consideration is methylene blue, fenbendazole and ivermectin, green tea, and NAD+. I personally haven't tried NAD+, so that's why I didn't put it in my main stack, but I've heard a lot of my clients and professional bodybuilders have had great experience with NAD+, so I threw that in there. So fiber, why fiber? Well, first, if your diet doesn't include a minimum of 15 grams of fiber per day, you're under fibered and you may have problems with your digestive regularity. If you're not experienced, let's say a movement, once or twice a day at minimum, you might be experiencing some digestive backup. Fiber improves LDL cholesterol, supports weight loss and appetite control. It helps you feel fuller. And so, this is really helpful when you're in a caloric deficit. And let's just say your carbs aren't high, you go low carb, and you're trying to eat enough veggies to satisfy, or maybe if you're carnivore, the fiber you're going to need, because you're going to need to keep your digestive processes flowing. It feeds beneficial gut bacteria, it reduces inflammation, and may lower the risk of colorectal cancer. Again, if you're not moving your system 1 to 2 times a day, or even a little bit more, you may be at risk for colorectal cancer. I know personally, my mother was diagnosed with colon cancer at 60 years old, and she was an overweight woman, and she did not eat a lot of vegetables or any kind of cruciferous diet with her meals. She just kind of had maybe a horribly, microwaved or overly boiled Brussels sprouts for a veggie, and that was just one time a day. So if your diet isn't really optimized for that 15 grams of fiber a day, this is even more important for you. If nothing else, if you take anything from this presentation and say, listen, this seems like a lot of things. I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have focus to do all these things. At least consider taking a whole food multivitamin. The one that I recommend here is whole food based, and it has superior absorption to pretty much anything you're going to find on the market. And it has the most comprehensive list of whole food ingredients that I found of any supplement on the market. And if anybody could provide me a better one, I'd be more than happy to look at it. But this is the absolute most comprehensive one that I found. It contains over 120 nutrients, and it's rich in superfoods, antioxidants, including organic fruits and vegetables, spirulina, chlorella, acai, pomegranate, and so much more. And this boosts gut and immune health. And it really does. When you start taking this, you will notice that natural energy without the crash. That is not hype on this slide. Berberine curcumin is really important for blood sugar support. It helps burn fat for energy, improves insulin sensitivity, regulates blood sugar, boosts mitochondrial function, and it helps trigger cell repair and autophagy. And again, this helps with weight management. If you're trying to lose fat, it definitely helps with that. Citrus bergamot, it helps support healthy cholesterol levels. It promotes heart and arterial health. It aids in weight and fat loss. It reduces inflammation and oxidative stress and liver protection. If you're very athletic, sometimes the liver takes a little bit of a hit. It comes into overproduction, and this helps with liver protection and mood and stress support. And one of the major benefits for this is it promotes heart and arterial health. It improves endothelial function and reduces arterial plaque buildup risk and supports healthy blood pressure. You should be pursuing cardiovascular activity for 30 minutes, at least 3 times a week. That's obviously optimal. And this will help enhance your cardiovascular activity. Astragalus, this is really good immune booster, and it's a powerful adaptogen. It also supports cardiovascular health. It helps with anti-aging and cellular protection, kidney support and protection. The kidneys go through a lot too when you're very active, and let's just say you don't hydrate as much as you should, because a lot of people don't hydrate as much as they should, myself included. Even if I'm focused on it, sometimes if you're working out hard, if you're running especially, you don't get to drink until you're done. This definitely helps support the kidney function, blood sugar and metabolic health, anti-inflammatory effects, and supports recovery and endurance. Fish oil, super important for everyone. I'm a pescatarian, and so I do try to find fish oils that don't have gelatin from bovine sources. But fish oil is really good for cardiovascular health, brain and cognitive function, joint and inflammatory support, prenatal early development, anti-inflammatory, autoimmune modulation, eye health, and muscle recovery. This I can't speak about fish oil enough. It definitely helps with your joint support as well. A lot of people have been taking glucosamine for joints, but I find that fish oil works better for me personally over glucosamine. And also the fish oil with the eye health is important. I noticed that when I do take the fish oil, I can see better. It might be a placebo effect, but I feel like my eyes have not degenerated since I've been taking fish oil. Initially, when I was 10 years old, I was diagnosed with 20/40 vision, but now my vision is 20/20 -2. And I think it's because of the supplementation that I have been taking to improve my eyesight. Vitamin B12. A lot of people get B12 shots. I think those are okay, but you only get a temporary effect from those. I feel like, you'll get that boost and then it kind of wanes off. The vitamin B12 is extremely palatable. Even if you don't want to swallow the pill, you can put a B12 tab underneath your tongue, and often they're berry flavored, like the one I have in the picture. And this really boosts brain function. It does increase energy and reduce fatigue. It supports healthy red blood cells and prevents anemia, especially for vegans, pescatarians like me, vegetarians. You have to get your B12 up, because a lot of times that can lead to anemia if you're not a meat eater. It supports nerve health, improves mood, and may ease depression, and is crucial for pregnancy and fetal development, and supports metabolic and cardiovascular health. Vitamin D and K2, this is huge. Another one, okay, although I said if the multivitamin would be the only one, definitely add this vitamin D, K2, because I wrote a whole entire Substack of how I was so fascinated with the positive effects of vitamin D and K2. And in my research and in other people's research that I sourced, you cannot possibly get enough vitamin D from your diet alone, and you can't get it from being in the sun. I live in Florida. I used to sunbathe for 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week, 15 on the front, 15 in the back, and my vitamin D levels still were not enough to be considered in that range where it's effective. And what I did find with this particular supplement, I brought my vitamin D range from 59 to around 110. I think it's nanomoles per liter. And that range is really effective for these benefits that I list on this slide, especially for immune function, mood and mental health, and the K2 part of it. It needs to be bonded with the K2 because it activates the GLA protein matrix, which prevents calcium buildup in the arteries. It reduces arterial stiffness and lowers the risk of vascular calcification. During the pandemic, and when people were getting sick with, let's just say, a strong flu, a lot of times it was because people were not vitamin D K2 replete. And so if you had your vitamin D levels in the hundreds and you were taking vitamin C and zinc, which we'll go over later, a lot of people were not subject to that super flu that was going around. And a lot of illnesses stem from being vitamin D3K2 deficient. And I wrote a whole Substack on it, and I'd be happy to share that because it's really important for a whole bunch of things, to include like Alzheimer's and dementia. And it's just really a wonder supplement. Vitamin C and rose hips. The reason why I say it should be bound with rose hips is because it enhances the duration. It helps, it bonds with it and helps it process in the body, basically. It helps be bioavailable and gets it into the body where it needs to go. It strengthens the immune system. It provides powerful antioxidant protection. It supports skin health and collagen production. Again, if you're not eating meat, if you're a vegan or vegetarian, the collagen production helps with keeping your skin healthy and your hair and your nails. It helps with cardiovascular support, enhances iron absorption, and it's a natural bioavailable source of vitamin C. Zinc is another immune builder. It promotes healthy skin, hair, and wound healing. This is not just for taking it while you're sick. It is a helpful preventative. It is essential for DNA, protein, and enzyme synthesis, because a lot of times, if you're eating a lot of meat, the bioavailability of meat, meaning how it digests in the body, is a little bit slower and is a little bit less than, let's say, fish or whey or eggs. So sometimes you need a little bit of help with that protein synthesis inside the body, and the zinc can help for that. It also does support hormonal balance, which is a lot of times people don't associate zinc with hormonal balance, but it does help regulate testosterone levels and supports male fertility. And in women, it helps regulate progesterone and estrogen and may ease PMS symptoms. Ashwagandha reduces stress and cortisol levels. It improves anxiety and mood, enhances sleep quality, and boosts strength, muscle mass, and recovery. It supports hormonal balance. It enhances cognitive function, strengthens immunity, supports blood sugar and metabolic health, and enhances heart and thyroid function. I know for me, I have a low thyroid function, which was discovered via this blood work several years ago. And for me, I do take a thyroid supplement, and also the ashwagandha helps with thyroid regulation. And thyroid regulation is really important because if you have hypothyroid, that means you have a hard time burning body fat. If you have hyperthyroid, you have a hard time putting on mass and putting on muscle. So it's really important to know where your thyroid levels are. Creatine. Creatine is not just for bodybuilders. Your body makes creatine naturally, but not enough of it. It increases muscle strength and power, greater muscle mass. But again, it's not just for bodybuilders trying to build muscle. This enhances cognitive function. It supports bone health. It has cardiometabolic benefits, neuroprotective effects. It ages, anti-aging properties, faster recovery and reduced fatigue. And it helps with lean body mass increases. It brings the fluid into the muscle while you're working out, and it helps with recovery. A lot of people, the people who say they have problems with creatine are probably taking a special creatine, and you don't need to be doing that. You don't need to take any special creatine ethyl esters or any fancy microionized type. This one I listed is just the creatine myohydrate, but they try to make it all fancy, and you don't need to go fancy. You could get the basic creatine and still experience the best effects from it. And you don't need to be a bodybuilder to do it. Some people have expressed, well, what if I have kidney issues? If you're concerned, if you have mild kidney disease, like stage 1 and stage 2, it's creatine is still tolerable at probably like the 3 gram a day dosage. But if you have moderate to severe kidney disease, then you could try different compounds such as citrulline malate, carnitine, or taurine. And you could get your mitochondrial support from CoQ10, B complex, and alpha lipoic acid. But again, creatine is for everyone, just not only for bodybuilders. Magnesium. This is another wonder supplement. Personally, for me, magnesium helps prevent migraines. I used to get migraines at least once a month during my cycle or just about before my cycle. And this magnesium citrate has helped me tremendously prevent me from getting migraines. Also, it helps with the digestive process that I mentioned earlier, that the fiber will help. This will help you as well. It improves sleep quality, reduces anxiety and stress. There's another powdered form of magnesium called Natural Calm, and that's the main benefit that it promotes, is the anxiety and stress relief. Supports heart health. It eases muscle cramps and spasms. It supports energy production, promotes bone health, and has anti-inflammatory effects, and improves insulin sensitivity and blood sugar control. Now, this version that I'm putting in this presentation does not have the same almost instant effect that the liquid magnesium citrate has. There's like, they sell them in the pharmacy. There's these like magnesium citrate bottles. It looks like seltzer water that a lot of people drink the day before they get a colonoscopy. This is not the type of supplement that's going to make you have to use the bathroom like in an immediate fashion. This is a nice, gentle supplement. It doesn't cause any sense of urgency like that. Now we go into the additional supplements, which I cycle. I currently take methylene blue. I did find some enhanced mitochondrial function and ATP production effects from this. I feel like I have a little bit more energy, and it helps. It's helpful for people with mitochondrial dysfunction or fatigue. Basically, since I'm an athlete that trains pretty heavy and twice a day, it's really important for me to keep my ATP production supported. And it improves memory and cognitive function in healthy adults, and it has neuroprotective and anti-aging effects. It protects neurons from oxidative stress, inflammation, and mitochondrial decay. They do make a blood test for telomere, how healthy your telomeres are. It's called the intrinsic aging test. And I took that test, and it says like your biological age versus your true age. And when I took it, it said that my intrinsic age was 7 years younger than my biological age. So it's a testament to all the supplements that I've been taking, a healthy diet, healthy nutrition, working out. it's really cool to see like the effects of what you're doing and what you're preaching and how you're practicing. It does affect everything on the inside. So methylene blue is a recent addition to my supplement stack, and I feel like it does make a difference. The fenbendazole and ivermectin, I've been testing this because cancer does run in my family. And if you guys have followed Dr. William Makis on X, he has been producing fantastic results with his clients on fenbendazole, M-bendazole, and ivermectin protocols for healing stage 4 cancers that, you know, people were saying, told, you need hospice care. You should just go home and prepare your last, you know, rites, so to speak. And cancer runs in my family. So it's not just for cancer too. It's for health effects, anti-parasite effects. Because if you eat sushi, I mean, just general living, you could have parasites in your body. I'm pretty sure everybody does. And this kind of cycling fenbendazole and ivermectin will probably keep the parasites at bay. What I personally have been doing is I've been taking fenbendazole and ivermectin for 10 days, once a month, 10 days straight, every 3 months. So like I'll do one cycle for 10 days and I'll wait 3 months and then I'll do another cycle. For me, I have 0 side effects from this. The ones that I've been taking has been the available one that you could get on Amazon, the Panacure, and I've also been taking the ivermectin paste. And you can you could get prescriptions for this stuff, and you could get the combo prescriptions for it. But I will say the prescriptions run $200 to $300, or maybe even a little bit more. It depends where you live, and it depends on how widely available it is. Some countries you could get ivermectin over the counter, great. But unfortunately, in the state of Florida right now, that legislation hasn't passed. So that's what I do for now. Anyway, there's no side effects whatsoever that I personally experience from this. And so I'm going to keep doing that ad infinitum. Green tea, Mott's mentioned this in his presentation about the benefits of green tea. You could take that anytime. And I like if you're trying to lose weight, green tea helps you not only with getting through those really bad hunger pangs. It just helps calm you. It gives you a little bit of energy. I mean, I can't speak enough about green tea. It's really good. And the NAD plus is more for anti-aging. There's a lot of studies now with this NAD plus improving cellular rejuvenation. It also helps delay mitochondrial dysfunction, fatigue, and accelerated aging. Supplementation may reverse some age-related cellular decline and promote healthier gene expression. It improves cardiovascular health. It reduces inflammation and oxidative stress. It improves metabolic health and insulin sensitivity. It supports detoxification and liver health. So, with all that in mind, does it matter when you take the supplements? First, I'd like to say, I'm glad that you'd be taking them at all, which is good, but we want optimal. So this is kind of like a sample schedule for somebody who eats meals 3 times a day, when you would take kind of these suggestions and how you would take them. And so this would kind of give you like an idea. The goal for the morning is to basically, the methylene blue like gets you started off with brain clarity, ATP production before you get going. The breakfast supplements really is the foundational nutrients and the hormonal support. The lunch supplements focuses on blood sugar regulation, inflammation support, and heart health. The dinner supplements are additional immunity, metabolic, and muscle support. And the pre-bedtime is cortisol reduction, relaxation, and hormonal balance. Basically, the pre-bedtime helps you with the cortisol production that you've experienced all throughout the day, all the stresses of the day that have taken a toll on you mentally, physically. This helps you reduce that cortisol before you go to bed. And the dinner supplements, the fish oil, the creatine, and the magnesium. Again, as your day winds down, you notice, like, if you had a cold, like during the day, that you were kind of mitigating with supplementation, or you were trying to forget about, you notice that your immune system kind of declines as the day goes on. And so to have these supplements, the additional immunity supplements, just kind of like as you wind down your day, it helps kind of keep your body in check. So in conclusion, you cannot out supplement a bad diet. Get your blood work semi-annually. It's really important, like I said, to establish a baseline and to determine the effectiveness of these supplements that I am suggesting. And it helps you let you know that this is effective, it is working for you, or maybe if you have a deficiency, maybe you need to increase, or maybe if it's over supplementing you, you can decrease and titrate. I suggest that you add these supplements slowly over a course of time. This way you're not shocking your body all at once, and you monitor your body feedback and how you feel. I always say, as a personal trainer and somebody who designs nutrition programs, is give your body time to take on the supplements. A lot of like, oh, it's not working. Well, even if you start taking, like, let's say, any basic antidepressant medication, they say, the doctor says, oh, give your body 30 to 60 days to get it in your system and get it to start working. A lot of the supplements that I recommend, you will feel instant effects, like that energy support from the whole food multivitamin. But a lot of things take time to build in your system, like the vitamin C, the zinc, those like immunity building supplements take time to build up your immunity. So, and the timing does matter when you take them. But again, if, let's just say, you miss a meal or whatever, it does help that you just are taking them in general. The only time I will say that does not apply is if you are taking a prescription medication and you find out that one of these supplements interacts. And it may be so, like, you might have to check with your doctor. Let's say if you're on a prescription medication with these other supplements, it may just be a timing window where you are putting the supplement 4 hours after you take your prescribed medication. So you could take, like, X, Y, and Z with your prescription medication, but you have to make sure there's a certain window of time between you're taking zinc or whatever, because it may interfere with the properties of that medication. So check with your doctor if you're on any type of prescription medications to make sure that there's no interaction there. Or you could chat GPT it, you could Google search it and see, like, if there's a window or an interference. This is my contact information. You can reach out to me at any time. I've included links for all the supplements that I recommend, just to make it easier for you. Feel free to use them or not. This way it just makes it easier, so you could kind of see what I'm talking about, or even just like copy and paste these 2 pages into like a Word document or something. This way you have easy reference from there. So now I'd be happy to take any questions and go from there.
Hey, I'm Mott here. I'm going to ask a question.
Sure.
I had thought for you when we started out with the different lab tests. Within your client base, what do you, the males with the testosterone levels as they age, how do you see people using testosterone? Are they just trying to get it back into kind of the normal range of laboratory values, or do you see them doing something else with it? What's your experience with your clients with the testosterone?
So a lot of times, well, I asked my client what their goals are. I would say, is your goal just to not feel sluggish or drained? because a lot of the ranges for testosterone, in my opinion, are a little low. And so I feel, excuse me, I feel like depending on what their goals are, if they really want to optimize performance, get on some type of testosterone, whichever one that okay, so you get your results back. And I say, okay, titrate up, don't go crazy, but titrate up to monitor how you're feeling and how your performance is. And then because a lot of hormone doctors will start you want to get started low and titrate up. This way, the negative side effects, because there are some like with acne, with your heart, you just want to monitor those along the way. And it's a lot easier to titrate up versus going back down. So yeah, I would say start with trying to get into at least the middle of the normal range, depending on where you are, and then go for the upper range if you're really trying to be a performance athlete, if you want to put muscle on, and depending on your tolerance. I also suggest if you're a male bodybuilder doing testosterone that you donate blood every like 3 to 6 months to make sure that you're getting those blood cells out, because that's where the heart problems come in and the blood pressure goes up, and it helps with blood regulation.
Great. And the vitamin D levels, I know that a lot of patients that I work with, as far as that have behavioral health issues, and then also the cancer patients, I often want to get their vitamin D level over 100. I think a lot of people are scared because they go to their regular doctor and they say, oh, it needs to be 30 to 50.
Oh no.
You threw some numbers in there for vitamin D levels. Again, if you could kind of just try to, what are you recommending for your clients? Not someone who has like an illness, but someone who's just trying to be fit. What are the levels that you recommend there?
I definitely recommend trying to hit over 100. I think that's still a good baseline, because if you look at like the FDA recommendations, it's like 50 or 60 nanomoles per liter, and it's like that will not get you any real health effects, health benefits from that. So I definitely start at the 100 number and, go to, as high as almost as high as you could go, like 100, 129, maybe even a little bit higher, depending on your tolerance. Now, the vitamin D that has been studied, the D plus K2, you could take up to 60,000 units a day without having any negative side effects whatsoever. And so, I would say, start at the 5,000 unit a day mark, which is in those capsules that I recommended, and see where that gets you. Because I started, like I mentioned, I started at 59, and that was taking in a good, that 30 minutes of sun dedicated every day. So I could only imagine what your numbers, your clients you're seeing, Mats, and at least try and hit that 100 number and, go up until at least you hit that 100 number.
Yeah, the majority of patients I have levels of like, they start off with like levels of 20, 25, 26, and they're just like, oh my gosh. So I'm having them do 50,000 units a day for probably either 1 or 2 weeks just to load them to try
Yeah.
to get them where we need to be. So yeah, it's a pretty big dose, but those are absolutely safe. Speaking of dosing, the ashwagandha. Uh, I know that when I was looking at the slide, I think the example bottle that you had was 450 milligrams. What do you typically within your packet? Do you recommend 450 a day, twice a day, or what's the dosage usually on the ashwagandha that you see?
I just take the two capsules a day that's recommended on the thing, because I'm taking all those other immune support vitamins in there, the ashwagandha, and I'm also taking the astragalus as well. So like since I'm taking all those other immune support system vitamins as well as the multivitamin, I stick with the dose on the bottle.
Gotcha. Okay. I know from a behavioral health perspective, a lot of times we'll do 600 milligrams twice a day for the anti-anxiety effects. So I was just wondering if there was a different dosage that you recommended for kind of the the standard protocol there.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, those are the questions that I wrote down. I'm sure there'll be a lot more that we'll have coming. So um, other than that, unless you've got anything else, we can wrap it up.
Okay. So if anybody wants any more like specifics on this, like I said, I included a lot of notes in the presentation. So I guess I could post it in the forum somewhere, and this way you guys can read the notes in your own time. Also, if you guys have any other questions about any of this stuff that I talked about and incorporating it with your diet or incorporating a healthy diet, I'm happy to talk about the macronutrient-based diet like I did in El Salvador and that presentation and how this all goes together. But that supplement timing schedule really helps. In addition, let's just say that you are on a prescription medication or you are taking other things. If you can't get to your doctor to talk about it, you can, and you can go into ChatGPT, you can go into Grok or whatever and say, hey, give me a supplement schedule. I'm taking this. This is what I do. This is when I eat. This is how I eat. And it will give you a really nice supplement schedule. And it will optimize it for you. Again, just, for legal purposes, check with your doctor and whatnot. But, AI is really, really helpful with these things because, we don't always have all day to go visit doctors and have them to consult with them. And I will say, most doctors, not you, Mats, but most doctors are not educated at all whatsoever in nutrition. All they know how to do is hand out drugs and prescriptions. They don't know anything about supplements. They might prescribe you a vitamin D because that's what they know how to do, but they might not even know what it's for. And they may not even know the benefits that binding it with the K2 can provide. So always do your own research. I'm sure Mats, you can attest to
most
that.
doctors won't even know to screen for a vitamin D, and I definitely in medical school we were not taught the importance of it, and we certainly did not have. I don't think we had a nutritional curriculum in medical school. So what you said is pretty accurate. We're what's a problem and throw a pill at it. Pretty much
Yeah.
is what we're taught. So you have
And
to
another thing
see.
with the blood test, even my guy, he went to the doctor. He said, I want my blood work done. They gave him the blood work. They took 13 vials from him, but the doctor did not give him a hormonal panel, and he did not give him a vitamin panel. And I will tell you, that was like a whole waste of a visit because okay, great. My cholesterol is this or whatever. And I would love to do a webinar based on the cholesterol fallacy, because that's a whole other myth we could go over, the statin fallacy and how horrible statins are for you. And I read that book, The Great Cholesterol Myth. It is fantastic. But again, you could go to the doctor, you could say, I need blood work, but then they'll give you some random crap that you can't even use. So again, vitamin panels, hormone panels, and that website I linked in my presentation, you could get all of them. You could pay cash, out of pocket, don't need any doctor whatsoever, and you can find out where you're at. And it's really important.
Great. Sounds like a great place to start. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.